Hey, what's up, worldwide family? Welcome back to the channel. Jimmy Flippin' Deals. Thank you so much for joining me. What have I been up to for the last 3.5 weeks, 4 weeks, a month, something like that? Ridiculous amount of time. I have been doing quite a few things, and I do have a lot of updates for you regarding the stuff that I have talked about in previous times. Let's see, but first, I had an issue with the car. Since the last year or so, the alignment's progressively gotten, oh, thank you, progressively gotten worse, right? And I was in a neighboring town and was in a construction area and hit some sort of bump and really messed up the front end, the suspension, right? It had been progressively getting worse. I was starting to hit bottom going down the highway. It was a little amusing. I'll be honest with you. The condition that I had allowed the car to go into, I am among the thought process that I'm gonna rock it till the wheels fall off, right? This car I bought, and I drove over. I bought it for $2,650 5-6 years ago now, and I have drove it well over 100,000 miles, and I'm just gonna keep driving it, right? But the suspension was trash, right? Like the alignment was shaking the wheels so bad. If I had my phone in my hand while I'm trying to do my driving and look at the phone too, I couldn't even read the phone because it was shaking so bad. It was eating up. It was eating up the tires in like a week or two. It had rubbed down the metal, so it had to stop. Like it had come to a head. Or get off the pot. Like I gotta fix this thing, right? And just looking at how much I know that I had spent even literally 20 years ago on tie rods, right? I went and had a little Toyota Corolla done. Now, whether or not I got a great deal or not, but using that as the basis for what it costs, just the tie rods were like $700, right? I mean, we're talking parts labor out the door, but $700. And there's so much more to the suspension than just the tie rods. And as old as this car is and as many miles as it has on it, I was almost 100% sure that would not be the end of it. So I got to looking, and long term, whether or not this plays out to be a great idea or not, it definitely buys me time. On eBay, I was able to buy a complete front suspension, right? I was also able to buy the axles. It's a two parts, the front axle, all four shocks. So the whole suspension, meaning tie rods, sway bars, control arms, the whole thing under there, like everything from underneath the wheels was missing. So anyway, like I said, whole front suspension, front axles, all four shocks. Not only that, but wheel hub and bearings. And then in the process of all of that, I realized also the steering rack and pinion was leaking, so I had to buy that. Long story short, when I bought all of those parts, that's literally like 20 different pieces rather than just the tie rods, right? 20 different pieces. I paid $500 and something on them, right? So overall, like I say, I don't know that they're 100% great parts, but this thing drives like a brand new vehicle as far as the steering and suspension goes. Now the shocks are a little stiff right now, but I hear that is normal with shocks, and that after some time with them getting used to having weight on them, that they will soften, so whatever. But in all honesty, before I was hitting the ground going on down the highway, every once in a while. And now it's just like, ow, that hurt, But I'll take that because it's not hitting the ground. Like it's just the suspension's stiff, right? So, and I'm sure over time it'll loosen up and it'll be nice. And even if it doesn't, just the fact that it's not eating at my tires anymore like it was, and the steering wheel isn't moving anymore. It feels nice. So I did have to take time to do that. And in all honesty, I had rented a whole bunch of parts, tools from AutoZone, bought a few from Harbor Freight. A couple of them I have to take back because I didn't end up using them. But nevertheless, I did all of that and hoping that I could get done within, less than a week. And when I got down there, one thing that was not included was on the steering rack, on the old steering rack, they had these rubber boots, these plasticky, rubbery things that cover them to keep dirt and whatnot out of them. And those over 20, I guess right at 20 years, it just died to nothing. So I had to stop what I was doing, order those, wait another 5 days. Meanwhile, I'm working through inventory and while I waited on the parts, right? So that put me, it was several days getting the business going. Moving it around. I was working on the car in the off time, kind of, tagging both of them. Not in a real big hurry. I had allotted a week to do it, and then that happened. So, okay, whatever. I got another 5 or 6 days, right? And that gets there. I'm working steadily on my business, working through the death pile, getting it pretty well caught up, which is awesome. Both digital and actual death pile is pretty well caught up. Closer than it has been in a long, long time. And I finally get that part in, right? And then I mess up these little washers on the steering rack. I toasted them, I killed them. And that has to do with your steering. Like, that stuff's important, right? And I bent them the wrong way. They're supposed to be bent to stop things from backing out, and I bent them the wrong way and tore them up, so I had to order more of those after I'd already waited an extra 5 days. Those were going to be right at a week, so now we're stretching into 3 weeks of being at home, working through my death pile, filling orders, ordering stuff on Amazon and eBay for the car, ordering Walmart. I got Walmart Plus, so ordering Walmart Plus for food. It was funny, and God love it, but my neighbor at one point, I was at the mailbox and she walks up and she says, "James, are you okay?" I said, "Well, sure. Things aren't quite going the way I would like, but sure." And I got the car in pieces and everything. And she said, "Do you need me to order you some food?" Very cool. Very, very cool. However, I just put in a order, and it was there later on that day. Matter of fact, it even had some stuff for them. So cool people, very cool for them to do it. My mom even asked me in the process, I was on the phone with her, and I said, "I'm eating peanut butter and crackers." And she's like, "Do you have any food?" And I said, "Yes, Mom, of course." And hi, Mom, by the way. But I caught the tone, and it may have not been true. It may have been my own, whatever, my own not self-analytical, but my analytical mind working on overdrive. But I was like, she doesn't believe me. Like, I've been stuck at home for 3 weeks. She knows this, and she doesn't believe that I have food. So I sent her a picture of my full, like to the brim, full freezer full of food. Like, I got food, Mom. I appreciate it. And I can understand that 20 years ago, the delivery like we have now, just, my mom goes to the store for everything. As far as groceries, she doesn't have it ordered to the house, which I've told her, you got to get into that. It's pretty cool. But nevertheless, through the Walmart Plus, and I went back and forth with them. I finally decided I like them. Uh, they're not perfect, and I expected them to be perfect. I expected them to be me. But I mean, you ought to be in stock, and if you're not in stock, you shouldn't wait a week to tell me you're not in stock, and that happens sometimes. And sometimes the delivery people send the wrong order. I've done that. I got stuck a while back, 6 months ago or something. I forget what was wrong with the car then. But I needed, but somehow I'd let it die while I was doing something. I needed a battery charger and I was stuck at home. So I ordered food, like no big deal, but I need food. So I ordered it. And when I got it, it was like none of my stuff. And of course I can order again, right? But like, that's not the point. And I had ordered a battery charger and they canceled the battery charger. So I didn't get my food and then I didn't get my battery charger either. But 99% of the time now, I think I get exactly what I asked for. So they're not paying me to say that. It's just factual, and they're not perfect. So, but I enjoy the service. I enjoy the gas savings. I get 10 cents a mile or 10 cents a gallon on there for being a rewards member. So that's cool too, with free delivery. You got to tip. You got to tip. I don't think it's mandatory, but you ought to tip. Anyway, I digress. So the neighbor offered me food. My mom was worried I had food. I got food, but I had to wait, right? Because I had broke the washers. And I decided there was still more work on the car that I could get ready to. It wouldn't need anything else except for this. Like, I could get all of that done. Let's work up to the point that I need the washers again. And I'd ordered them. They were going to be like right at a week. And I pulled the old, on the other side, the old tie rod off. And as I pulled the inner tie rod off, out of the rubber boot comes power steering fluid. And I don't know if y'all have heard me talk about it before, but I have replaced like 3 power steering pumps on this thing. I have heard that it's just not a good year for power steering pumps. I have also, for the first 2, used generic Honda power steering fluid, which I was told by AutoZone and O'Reilly's both, there's no difference. Use it, meanwhile, on the chat boards and stuff. As far as people that are Honda enthusiasts, they say only use the Honda stuff, so it's more expensive. But with this last one, I decided to use it. I had just put it on, I don't know, a few weeks or a month beforehand, because it was squealing on me so bad it had gotten embarrassing. Matter of fact, I rolled into a parking lot one time. The guy's like, "God, man, it's like a $30 part, And I get it, but I'm cheap. So I put that on. So it hadn't had a chance to go bad, but the steering rack and pinion was bad, so I had to drop the subframe and pull that out and put it back together, which meant that I had to order that. And again, that was another week, so now we're stretching right at, I guess, 4 weeks it was. And I'm running out of product at this point. I think I still have 2 more totes of new stuff, and then I have some used stuff. But I got to be honest with you, I don't like the used stuff. I don't like listing it. I don't. I go buy used stuff. I don't mind my mind, but I don't like listing it. The pictures and everything that you got to put up with that I don't have to put up with new stuff, and there's been some developments there on that front. We'll talk to you a little bit later about that probably, but nevertheless, they've gotten down to everything. Like, now I'm just sitting, not quite, but getting there, Like it's getting down to the nitty gritty. Like something's got to break, and I was getting to the point of I've got to get out of here. You know, I'm stuck. I'm gonna go broke this way. Long time before I go broke. I'm not saying that. You know, I'm probably more than a year's worth of expenses I have saved up. Oh, far more. But actually, in cash, I had a year's worth of expenses saved up. So I am blessed there. Now it is business money. The business would definitely take a loss if they paid me back for my initial investment, right? So, nevertheless, I needed to get out. I'm like, I have to. The steering rack gets there. This is far more mechanical work in an area of the car I haven't ever spent any time in that I've ever done before. But thanks to YouTube, right? Monkey see, monkey do, and I don't mean it derogatory. I mean, like, I'm the monkey. I can follow directions. Just tell me what to do. I get out there and you do that, I do that. You do this, I do that. Like, and I got it done, right? And the steering rack, the whole 14-piece suspension system, the front rear shocks, the hubs and bearings, which are a beast if you're using hand tools to do. Oh my goodness, crazy. I get all of that stuff back together, and this time it all works. Like, it all works. I get in it. I still got a little bit of the wobble, but it's better, right? And then I get brand new tires put on the front, and it's just gone. Like, I don't even need an alignment. I know that's not true, but I mean, that's the way it felt. New tires will do that to you until they shred up, right? But nevertheless, I got the new tires on it, smooth as whatever, you know. And then the next day, went up to the shop, had them do the alignment. Super cool people up there. It wasn't at the place that I intended. The place that I intended was actually too busy. I found this other guy that was just absolutely fantastic. And I mean, if y'all were in this area, I'd be happy to tell y'all who it is, but there's not a lot of point with people from Wisconsin knowing where I go get my stuff done. Very cool people, nevertheless. So from there, man, and I could have done a video there, but in my head, I mean, just the anxiety level of being, you know, basically off of my work, you know, either sourcing product or my side jobs, right? Being off of work for a month, like, I gotta get to work. And I told my mom, I'm gonna come see you, I'm gonna go shopping on the way. And normally there's like 10 stores in between her and I, right? And most of the time it takes the vast majority of those stores to fill up the car. But that day it was a different day. And I found enough to literally fill up the car and the trunk within like 3 or 4 stores. Just absolutely awesome. Before even noon, I was headed to Mom's and full on the car, right? Absolutely beautiful. Got to spend quite a few hours with them. I have been back to working on my side gig. That, in a nutshell, is it for where I have been for the last month. However, that's not all of the story. There have been many more developments, and I will tell you about those next time. So, I will talk to you later. I hope y'all have a wonderful day. I hope sales are just kicking butt. Y'all let me know. Y'all tell me something. Did I just spit on you? Well, I'm lucky I didn't spit on you. So, there you go. Y'all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.